So a common thing I have clients come to me and ask is, how do I get passive income? They hear all these things online and watch videos, and people are always talking about passive income. Now, I think it's really important to define terms here. So in my mind, passive is really low effort, but with consistent output. So when you frame things up like that, it actually scales down what passive might look like. I often think about the way you build passive incomes often through active employment or active participation in the market. You build up an asset, and then after a while, that asset can then go out and go to work for you. That would be seen as largely passive. So again, low effort, but consistent output. Some other examples that come to mind could be investment property. So assuming that you've got it fully paid off and it's now paying rent, you're not having to actively go out. So let's say it's earning $600 a week. So what's that? $30,200 a year. You're not actively having to go out and put in a 20-hour work week to then get that return by the end of the year. Now, it still requires some effort, but again, that's why I say passive is low effort rather than no effort, but with consistent output. Because you don't want to do low effort and then have no output or fluctuating, returns or rewards on your money. I would almost liken it, if you were making a fire, let's just say you were feeding that fire with sticks and twigs, you'd be constantly having to feed the fire with sticks and twigs because it'd burn through it very quickly. Versus a little bit more effort might be to go pick up a heavy log. But once you drop that log on the fire, you now don't have to do anything for a fixed period of time. So there are different layers to it. So again, feeding it constantly with little bits, which would be your sticks and twigs, they get burnt up very quickly, requires constant effort. Then you've got your slightly more passive, which is grabbing the heavier log. So it feels a little bit harder than picking up a stick, but then you have to do less work ongoing. Anyway, a couple of layers to that, but I thought I'd just unpack a little bit about passive income. If you found that useful, feel free to watch a couple of my other videos where I talk a little bit more in depth about that. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.